Hey, what's going on, everybody? It's LeTroy. We are back again for another edition of the Late Night View. I know it's been a few days, but I've been trying to figure out stuff like sound and lighting and everything by myself, so just pray for me, Saints. The Late Night View is a show that I created for people like myself that are insomniacs that can't sleep at night, as well as people that have to work at night or they have babies and they're up in the middle of the night and they want to have something to watch. Everybody don't want to wait to watch The View or the Breakfast Club in the morning. So I just thought, why not give middle of the night commentary on things that have happened today? I try to keep the show under 30 minutes because who wants to sit and listen to somebody they don't really know like that talk for 30 minutes? I don't even like listening to people that I know talk for more than 30 minutes. So that is the spiel of the show. I like to jump right in. I have my cue cards here to keep me on track so that we stay under 30 minutes. And yeah, I would just like to jump in. Let's do it. Let's see what the first one is. Oh, so this past weekend was the 20-year anniversary of Ciara's Goodies album. Ciara's Goodies album came out 20 years ago. I was 14 when this album came out. I remember when this album came out. I remember it like it was yesterday. It was like, who is this lady? Why is she climbing on the back of this car with Ludacris rapping in front of her? She was just so amazing. And I've always, since day one, been a huge Ciara fan, from Goodies to O to And I to Hotline to my favorite Ciara song from this album is Pick Up the Phone. I know you see me on your caller ID, so pick up the PHONE. So I just wanted to say that about Ciara 20-year anniversary of the Goodies album. I forgot like 1-2 Step was on there. I forgot to talk about Goodies was on there. So yeah, this past weekend, 20 years Ciara has been in this game, and I don't think she's stopping. I know a lot of people don't get into her newer music, but that's because Ciara's not the same old Ciara that she was. Ciara's not the one that was hanging around with Future and Bow Wow and 50 Cent. Ciara got her a good, wholesome wife by the name of Russell Wilson. Because we all know Ciara runs that household. But no, so yeah, I just wanted to point that out that this past weekend made 20 years of Ciara's Goodies album. She's had great albums since then. The Evolution, she definitely beat the sophomore jinx with the Evolution. That Promise record was so amazing. And it came out of nowhere and it scared the girls. The girls had to go back to the studio and they had to re-record and recreate some stuff when Ciara came out with Promise. So again, I just wanted to shout out Ciara. I love Ciara. I love that album. 20 years is nothing to not acknowledge, and there's definitely something to celebrate. So shout out to Ciara and her debut album, Goodies. Next, so also this past weekend, Bad Boys 4, Bad Boys for Life came out. And all of these news outlets was pissing me off. And they were pissing me off because they were like, oh, we were so surprised, and oh, box office upset. Bad Boys for Life does so well, basically. Who didn't think that Bad Boys for Life with Martin Lawrence and Will Smith was not going to do well? Who thought that? That is Martin Lawrence and that is Will Smith. And then I kept reading stuff and they kept talking about how Will Smith slapped that man. Good for him. He should slap him again. Will Smith should slap Chris Rock every time he sees him, since Chris Rock wanted to drag it and wanted to victimize himself and pander to people. I ain't gonna say what kind of people, but we know what type of people Chris Rock was pandering to. But why was there ever a question that a franchise that is now at number 4 would not perform well with two of the biggest black figures, not just actors? Will Smith did win the first rap Grammy ever, but okay, nobody does their research anymore, so they think it's surprising that Will Smith has bounced back. I mean, first rap Grammy ever, Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, Men in Black, Bad Boys, Independence Day, and you're surprised that his film did well because he slapped somebody. And let me tell you why they're surprised. They're surprised because they still do not understand the power of not only black superstars, but the black audience. The black audience was going to see Bad Boys 4. It doesn't matter who he slapped. As long as he didn't slap his mama, we good. And I was really surprised. Then I saw Stephen A. Smith, child. First of all, Stephen A. Smith, I just was introduced to. I don't fly on planes like that, so I didn't really know what he does. Apparently, he does commentary on sports and stuff. Maybe he should continue to do that. Maybe he should continue to commentate on sports. Because in a place where you have Will Smith and Martin Lawrence, you should never, ever. And then the great thing about how Will Smith and Martin Lawrence just did the press run for Bad Boys 4 is they knew who to promote to, and they knew who to go visit, and they did all black outlets. Will Smith and Martin was hitting outlets that normal, to be honest, black celebrities don't do. They didn't go to The View. They didn't go to Regis and Kelly and Phil and who. I don't even know who's on that show. It's like Kelly Ripa and a stranger. I don't know who those people are. They didn't go to those type of shows. They went to the black outlets because they understood and their people understood the power in black star power and black audiences. So Stephen A. Smith, nobody's waiting or looking around for a Will Smith apology. If you're waiting for a Will Smith apology for slapping that man, for talking about his wife in front of millions of people, maybe he should have slapped you. Maybe you the one that should have got slapped. You're going to sit there and say that the black community, he still owes the black community an explanation. He don't owe me nothing. The only thing Will Smith owes me is an explanation for why he didn't drag that man off the stage and beat his ass. That's how I feel. So I'm so happy Will Smith and Martin, they made their money back. They made the studio's money back. It was like the studio spent like, I think, $105 million and the movie made $109 million. Now let me tell you, it's the studio world, because I worked in a few of them. Everybody's at the studio is good right now. They're like, all right, bet. We made all of our money back the first weekend. And we still got the rest of life to go. So congratulations to Will Smith and Martin Lawrence for not only shattering the box office, but showing people like Stephen A. Smith, we don't want no apology, Will. Don't come out here apologizing. Don't nobody want to hear that. All right, next. I'm sure this is what a few people are here for. So, Chrisean Rock was arrested today. Chrisean Rock was arrested today. She was arrested today because she wanted to go see Blueface at his trial today in Los Angeles. Now, I want to start off with saying this. I would love to find a man like Chrisean. Because anybody that knows they got 3 or 4 warrants and still shows up to a courthouse to support their man is the type of person I want to be with. Why would that lady go down there to them people courtroom knowing she got 85 warrants? But hey, she went down there. She took the baby with her. She just knew she was going to have a good day. She was going to go see her man because Blueface been in jail for a minute now, right? And so she ain't seen her man. She was going to see her man. She was going to take the child so they could have visitation in the courtroom. She's right. She said, I want to be your chick. I want to be down for you. Chrisean went down to the courtroom knowing she had warrants. And one of those warrants, y'all listen, I keep wanting to leave this part of my life in November 2023. But today when I saw that, I was like, oh, now people will really know I was not lying. And the thing is, to this day, today, I'll get comments and I'll get messages like, why'd you lie on Chrisean? You try to set Chrisean up and Chrisean didn't do that. It never happened. Where's the footage? The footage is now on TMZ of her getting arrested. That is where the footage is. And it's the same thing that I have been saying since November 10th or 11th of 2023 that happened, you know? And so I saw that and I was just like, I posted on my Instagram that Raven Simone meme. She was just like, because that's how it was. I was out with my little brother Kyron earlier, and I was just like, I said, "Try look at this video." And I don't want to say that I feel vindicated, but I do want it to be known that it can now definitely be seen that I was not lying. And I know that people still thought I was lying because it took so long for other people to come out and say the actual truth. And there is a thing where people don't know what exactly she got arrested for today, but they did say that there's multiple warrants. I know for a fact one of those warrants is for what happened on November 10th or 11th of 2023. And everybody said I was lying. I was making it up. I was dragging it. I was getting death threats. People was following me from the gas station down the street from my house to my house. It was a lot going on. You know, people turned their back on me as if I was lying. So when I saw that lady today and they was dragging her out, she acted like she didn't know what was going on. I was like, thank I was about to say thank God for Jesus. I shouldn't thank God for Jesus that somebody's getting arrested. But I was just like, okay, now people know that I wasn't just starting mess and I wasn't just trying to get attention or whatever. I was really saying something that happened that I was not okay with. You know what I mean? Like, I don't think she should have hit that man. Now, do I? You know how two things can be true at once? It's like, she should have hit that man, but I could see why. Maybe I should have said it. But that happened today. So, yeah, she got arrested. One of the warrants that she has is for, as I said, what happened. And it'll be interesting to see how this plays out. And we'll go back, and I feel like everybody should go back. We're going to have a viewing party. We're going to have a viewing party of the video that I put out that night and everything that I said, and we'll see where was the lie. Because I didn't tell not one lie. I said she's going to prison. Did I lie? I think that she's being held without bond or bail or whatever. I don't do jail, so I don't know. But yeah, so just thought that was pretty interesting that we're in June now. That was 7, 8 months ago that happened. 7, 8 months later, and now everybody knows that I was not lying. So look at God. He might not always be there when you call, but he's always on time. But you know how people be like, God don't play about me? I did for a minute. I thought God had started to play about me. I had thought that God was playing hopscotch with me, but hey, sometimes you gotta be patient. And that's one thing that I'm learning is there is definitely power in patience. I just don't know how long I'm gonna be able to be patient forever. So that was that. Lady in jail. Oh, so this past weekend was popping. That's why I had to wait till Monday because everything was happening over the weekend. Past weekend, Chris Brown kicked off his tour, 11/11 tour, in Detroit, I believe. And during his show, he does "Shawty Like Mine" featuring Bow Wow. Bow Wow was in the audience for the first night of the show, and later on, Bow Wow said that he felt like Chris Brown should have invited him on stage to perform "Shawty Like Mine" with him. And since Chris Brown did not invite Bow Wow on stage, Bow Wow decided that while Chris Brown was on stage performing "Shawty Like Mine," Bow Wow will perform it from the audience. Okay, right. But then it's crazy you perform in front of audience. But then people were saying like, "Oh, Chris Brown knows that he could have invited Bow Wow as a special guest to perform "Shorty Like Mine." This and the third. Let me explain something to you guys. So, with Detroit being the first show of a tour like this, it's like 40, 45 dates. It's basically like a dress rehearsal. It's a dress rehearsal in front of all of the fans. And when you're having a dress rehearsal, you have to do the show like the show is going to be done for the rest of the tour. So if at the first night of the tour you throw in a special guest, it throws everybody off because everybody now has to accommodate for this special guest that won't be there for the rest of the tour. So the first on a tour like that, the first like 3 or 4 nights, it's still kind of rehearsal. They go back, they look at it, they see what works, what didn't work, what they want to change, what songs they might want to take out, what songs they might want to add. And so if you add a special guest to that in their energy, in their movement, because this, you guys, it's really like, you know how football players and basketball players, they all have to rehearse and they all have to practice together. It's the same thing with performers. And just like if LeBron James is practicing, you can't have no special guest shooter. You can't have no special guest point guard. No, we are practicing for the game, for the NBA Finals. We can't have no special guest. And it's the same thing when people are preparing for tour, they're going on tours. Like, you can't just throw up special guests out of nowhere. So I don't know if that's what happened. That's what I believe what happened is why, somebody would not have a special guest on a very first stop of their tour. But maybe Chris will invite Bow Wow when they're at like show 13, 14, or 15. But I do want to tell Bow Wow, don't perform your song in the audience no more. Don't do that. Don't set yourself up like that, little Bow Wow. You just don't know the way you move so fast across the floor. I mean, you run through my mind like all the time to the point that I just want to take you home. Don't perform no more songs from the audience. Don't do that, Charlotte. Don't do that. All right, we're the last one of the day. Wasn't too much that happened, but I still, like I said, like to keep it under 30 minutes. So Tory Lanez is getting a divorce, child. Tory Lanez is getting a divorce because that lady, his wife, said he was sentenced for 10 years and she was not going to be able to make it. Why do people think you have to be a particular type of person to wait 10 years for somebody to get out of jail? You can't go on no dates. You can't have no sex. You can't pillow talk. You can't lay up with nobody. You can't cuddle. You just got to sit there and wait for a 1-800 phone call to bill your phone to talk to your man. And Tory Lanez, I'll tell you something about Tory Lanez. I think Tory Lanez really thought he was going home. He really did, because the court told them that, hey, it was right around Christmas. They said, yo, we can delay your sentencing until after Christmas so that you can spend Christmas with your family. Just in case the verdict doesn't come out your way, let's just delay it. That's what the court said. Tory Lanez said, no, I want to know my verdict now. Okay. Well, now you know it. And now your wife knows it. And now you're getting a divorce. You know what I'm saying? And everybody know you shot that lady. You keep acting like you did not shoot that lady. Somebody shot that lady and it was you. So now you done shot that lady. You missed Christmas. You got 10 years. And you thought your wife was going to stand beside you and stick beside you. And I don't want nobody coming at the wife. The wife did what she's supposed to do. Yeah. First of all, I didn't know Tory. I just figured I didn't know Tory Lanez was married. I was gonna say pregnant, married, because I thought Tory Lanez was messing with Kelsey and Kylie and Megan. Baby, the wife should have been left. The wife should have been thinking about you all the way home. The wife should have been gone. Why the wife ain't leave when he was over there at Kylie's house cutting up? The wife, see how things get started? The wife stuck around with all that mess. Here's the thing about mess. When you accept mess, you keep getting mess. Mess on top of mess on top of mess. I did not know that man was married. I know he had children. That man was married, messing with Kelsey, Kylie, Megan. Good job to you, Mrs. Tory Lanez. Get rid of him, because he ain't going nowhere no time soon. And ladies and gentlemen, that is this week's episode. Well, not this week, today's. Hopefully more stuff happens so I can do more videos this week. But this is today's episode of the Late Night View. Again, a late night talk show so that you don't have to wait until the morning to hear people talk. And yeah, we'll see what happens with that case and that lady. And now everybody knows that I wasn't lying. I think what the lady on the model said, you owe everybody an apology for your hoe. But thank y'all for tuning in. Make sure you follow me on social media at LeTroy Davis, LeTroy MATHOD MATHOD. Yeah, man. No, but LeTroy LeTroy Davis on all social media platforms. Thank y'all for coming to the Late Night View, and we'll see you later this week. Peace.